back on the air. This is Eric and Robin, the restaurant brokers, and today we're talking technology and the food industry. And we're joined by Jessica Bryant and Paul Aaron from Digital Coco. Paul, we were speaking at the break about one element of this whole digital world is that it's terrifying to some operators. They don't know where to go, where to get started. They actually need a how-to book. Tell us where they could get one.
Well, absolutely. I mean, the book, The Chipotle Effect, is really talking about the changing landscape of the American restaurant consumer. You can find it on Amazon. And we talk about nothing but kind of this whole new evolution of how the restaurant business needs to address this new age consumer. So it's got lots of cool tools and tips in it.
Okay, I think that's great. And let me ask you this, Jessica. Do you think that a restaurant has to reinvent themselves every few years in order to stay relevant?
Yeah, with the fluidity of social media and digital these days, I mean, things are changing so quickly that people need to keep up, and they can't just keep up, they have to stay ahead of the curve. They have to know, what to prepare themselves for, because as we discussed earlier, people are afraid of technology, and they're so crazy busy that they sometimes don't have time to, play catch up. So, yes, it's very important, I believe, to adapt to that.
And you really can't afford not to. As restaurant brokers, we sell restaurants for a living, and the very first thing we do when someone calls us and says, listen, I'd like to talk with you about selling my restaurant, is go online and see, what are the reviews saying, what are the visitors saying, do they have a social media presence, is their website stuck in 1992, all of those elements. And without a significant online presence, particularly today, you're really lost.
Right.
And we've seen that change too from 12 years ago in our business, that we didn't sell the websites and the social media keys and everything. Now when you buy a restaurant, the business of a restaurant, it's important to have the social media, the handles and everything that goes with it, and the followers and all that stuff. And people don't realize that this is value that you're building for your business. It is important when you have 10,000 followers on Facebook or Twitter. It's going to be a better business than somebody's got 5, and we see that a lot.
Jessica?
Absolutely. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think with the accessibility of social media, people, of course, are checking out restaurants before they even step into the door. And I think that, your restaurant is being judged before they even try the food, before they even see the decor. So that social presence is absolutely key.
Now, going down that line, because I know you guys do some incredible data mining about this industry, who's doing it really well? I mean, obviously the whole world knows Chipotle is at the top of the heap, but are there, what are the 5 most mobile connected casual restaurant concepts out there, and how are they doing that?
Well, the mobile connections are most of the big brands. Obviously, they kind of have the lock on that. I think the more interesting operators outside, the Buffalo Wild Wings and Red Robins and Yard Houses of the world are these smaller independents that are making some pretty big inroads. There's a couple in D.C. that come to mind, being Sweet Green and Cava Grill. You also look at one of the pioneers that really utilized social to grow his brand, which is AJ Bombers. You can look at some guys down here in South Florida, which are high-volume independents, the guys at Pub Belly, the guys over at 50 Eggs, which are, the Yardbirds of the world, high-volume independent people. They're really taking it to the next level, and it is a new age and a new breed of operator that's doing that. They're really learning how to work in the digital space much more effectively than than maybe some of the big brand counterparts.
Are they millennials themselves, some of these operators that are adapting so easily to the new technology, or is it a range of maybe baby boomers all the way down who are saying, I've got to get in the game?
It's a pretty big range, actually. Obviously, there's a lot of millennials that are emerging now as far as founders of new operations. but there's still quite a few active veterans that have figured out the juice and have said, hey, we're going to change the way we do business. And that's what I think is impacting the industry right now.
Good. Do you see also part of that? We talk about in our shows about education, and to be successful in marketing, social media, and all aspects of that. Do you see a huge commitment from ownership all the way down to wait staff to busboys, and everybody got to be committed to either participate or engage the guests and the customers into participating in the social media campaigns?
I mean, I don't think it hurts, but ultimately what people need is one point person just to, have a specific digital voice, to kind of have that character of engaging with the audience and really maintaining and creating those relationships. I think one point person kind of, so there's not too much commotion going on, definitely is important. However, when you do show up at the restaurant, and it's really important to have that in-store connection to social as well. So promoting your social handles and, your Facebook accounts is definitely important.
And from a branding perspective, that has to connect as well, because you earlier said, one of you said, people are judging the restaurant before they come in the door. So if they have a really cool, interesting vibe online, and then you come to the door and the 80s are calling and they need the decor back, you've created disconnect in the customer's mind. So you have to true all that up, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think consistency is key.
For our listeners out there, I'm share a quick story with you guys as well, but your book, Chipotle Effect, I think is very important for people to read this, because in our office the other day, I watched a Chipotle commercial on YouTube, and I thought it was dark, somber, and we have Ashley would work with us in Millennial, and she said it was great. It was a very good commercial. She loved it, and we had a totally different opinion and understanding of the commercial. So for me to try to reach out to millennials right now, I think I would fail miserably. So I need some information and some guidance on that. And on that note, Paul, Jessica, thank you so much. Digital Coco and Foodable.com. We appreciate you guys being with us today. And don't touch that dial. This is Eric and Robin Gagnon, the restaurant brokers with the We Sell Restaurant shows. And we'll be right back for Restaurant Reality after the break.